Welcome back, I'm Tedward, and today, thanks to Bond Group in Waltham, Massachusetts, we're driving an American icon in a car that I have always wanted to drive. This is a 2006 Dodge Viper SRT-10, and not just any Viper SRT-10. This is the VOI.9 edition, a commemorative edition of the 9th Vipers Owner Invitational in Las Vegas. That means you get a special color with the blue stripes, as well as some nice interior upholstery, which is usually what people condemn this car for being a little cheap on the inside, but honestly, it's not so bad. I'm having an okay time, but maybe it's just because it has an 8.3 liter pushrod V10 that really gets me going. I love this car already. It is a blast, even though it's basically a steel frame with a tractor engine in it. Man, it doesn't get any more fun. So let's cut to the chase and go straight to this engine. Now you open it under here. There's actually a little pull thing here. And then we've got this. We've gone away from the crazy clamshell of the earlier cars, but under here is our very familiar and wonderfully large V10. This is not the most exotic engine. In fact, it's basically a truck motor that they converted and changed into a racing motor. And that's what I love about this car, is because it's basically dead reliable. You're not going to run into those exotic problems that you'd have in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, because this was meant to basically haul things. It was designed for monster amounts of torque, not crazy revs. And you can see where it's mounted in the car. They were using their thinking caps because this is in the middle of the vehicle. This is a front mid layout. And to put all of that power down to the ground, we have 13-inch wide wheels back here, 345 section tires. And you'll also notice there are 6 lugs on this wheel, so it does give you some truck vibes. And up here, to turn this thing into a corner, we've got 275 section fronts. This particular Viper sounds especially crazy because of these headers, which dump out the side. Yes, we've got side pipes, so it's right next to your ears, which is going to be a little challenging to capture the audio in this video. Now, when we close this long hood, we can see our scoop for our intake, but also some heat dissipation, these gorgeous louvers. And while we're driving, I hope you can see the heat rising out of the engine compartment. The shape of the Viper is so iconic and beautiful. And even though the 3rd generation may not be the best, the cream of the crop in terms of appearance, I think this is growing on me more and more. I love the way they kind of tucked body lines in. It's just a gorgeous vehicle. And we've retained the iconic shape of these taillights. And of course, you've got to have the snake in the 3rd brake light. How cool is that? Down here, we're overpowered by those monster rear tires, but we've also got this diffuser because the Viper's job is to go fast, and it's meant to go fast around the track in the right hands. So we do have a lot of under panels down there to try to increase downforce and reduce drag, and then we've got this diffuser. But it's also relatively practical. So if we open this hatch, and it is a hatch, all that glass moves up. We've got reasonable amounts of space, and we've got our fitted Viper cover, which I believe came with the VOI.9 edition, and we can fit a bunch of things back here. We could actually do a nice weekend getaway in our Viper if your ears can handle the exhaust. And you could tell that Dodge wanted to make everything on this car special, even the fuel filler cap. That's kind of a clever click. And like I said, you can see all of the nice upholstery from the VOI.9 edition, and you know, it's not so bad in here. I like the two-tone blue. The materials are okay, and especially these seats. You know, maybe all of this was parts bin specials from the Dodge Stratus and Intrepid, but these seats are actually quite comfortable once you're in there. So let's dial in this audio, start it up, and you're gonna see just how loud this car is. It's quite a thrill. Now, they only made 100 of the VOI.9 editions. This is number 10. It's got about 3,000 miles on it. We'll stack a few more on today. The pedal box is interesting in this car because it's offset just a bit to the left. So you do feel like your legs are pointing in one direction and you're turned like this to reach the steering wheel. And then there's this very odd dead pedal, which is way up. It makes no sense. It's very far away from the floor. And I don't know that it's actually a very comfortable thing to do. The center stack is all business. You've got oil pressure, oil temperature, water temperature, and your voltage. And then you've just got this beautiful short shift 6-speed Tremec. And, you know, it's a good time. So let's start it up and take it for a ride. Got a Viper on the key, of course. We'll get key in the ignition. It certainly has a special sound to it. This pushrod V10 has a lot of lope. It's a wonderful idle. In fact, it's way cooler than I expected it to be, because this isn't an exotic engine, but somehow it does manage to sound the part. It gets very hot in this cabin, but we do have air conditioning and some creature comfort. And of course, we've got our window switches out of the Dodge parts bin circa 2006. Oh my God, what a sound. The gearing is so crazy long too. Story on the Viper was always that there were no nannies, and the original one had no ABS, no traction control. We don't have traction control in this one, but I do believe we have ABS. Let's hope that's okay. But you know, it was not meant for those who were faint of heart, who needed to ride the nannies to drive their cars fast. To take off at all times, but you've got to be conscious that that torque, even though we've got 345s in the rear, still not enough to withhold all of its power. Brakes are phenomenal. Wow, the turn in. That's really something special. Could there be a more different car next to me? Sixth gear, 80 miles an hour, 78 miles an hour, 1500 RPM. We are barely turning this engine over right now. This is nuts. And there's a bit of road noise. This is not a well-insulated, quiet cabin. This is designed for one thing. Go faster. Go faster than the other guy. Love short shifting it just because under load at about 3,500 RPM it sounds phenomenal. I can feel all of the vibrations through the seat. My back is getting a full-blown V10 pushrod massage right now. I find myself having to just think kind of hard while I'm driving this car, because it's weird. It's like has the heart and soul of a dragster, yet it handles like a road car, but you've got to be really on top of it or else you're going to lose it. It's just an AC Cobra for the 21st century. It's so out there, it's so bizarre, and it's so unique. I've never driven anything that feels like this. Go with it. It's fast. I mean, it is fast. It is genuinely fast. It's not the fastest thing in the world. There are faster cars out there, but the amount of effort you need to put into it going fast is what makes it fun, what makes it ridiculous, what makes it a Viper. Oh my goodness. Anyone who could like really survive the day in one of these on a complex racetrack, then add water, you want to go drive this thing in the wet, you are going to have quite a time. All the controls are pretty heavy, except the steering isn't. But, you know, even though it's kind of a front mid-mounted engine, you still feel like there's a big gap. There's a long wheelbase between the front and rear wheels. They are not talking to each other very quickly. Driving around normally seems to be a weird thing to do in this vehicle, but you could. I mean, it's not very comfortable. It's very stiff, and that's the thing you got to remember about the Viper, is that it's basically a steel frame with a really fancy suspension attached to it. And that's the thing that's great about this car, is pretty much everything's adjustable. It's designed for somebody who really wants to be able to drive to a racetrack, get an experience unlike nothing else. I mean, this is really something special. And dial in their car the way they want to. Oh my goodness, I'm in love. Who knew? I mean, everybody knew, I guess, but man, I really like the Viper. Visibility's a little bit miserable, and the roof comes down in a pretty aggressive slope down here, so it's weird. I don't have very long legs, so I find myself having a bit of a hard time because I wish I could sit further away from the pedal box, but if I want to reach that clutch with a little bit of a break in my knee, then I gotta be here. This is the deal. That you couldn't possibly break this vehicle. Like, it's just so robust. It doesn't rev high enough to ruin itself. And this engine was basically a truck engine, so it was probably designed to just pull a bunch of heavy stuff for 500,000 miles. And then, you know, over time they redeveloped the heads and they changed all these other, I mean, literally everything, but still, the foundation of this engine is designed to be reliable. And that seems to be the little trick up the Viper's sleeve, is that it's like it has exotic supercar tendencies in terms of its powertrain and handling capabilities, but it doesn't have the repair bills associated with it, because what are you going to do? You're going to break this engine? Good luck. It's a whole body experience, everything about it. And you can start to feel all that Hellcat DNA in this, because obviously this came before then. It's just wild. That's just for fun. There's faster ways around that corner for sure. You leave it in third, but I want to hear this exhaust. These headers. Oh my God. And somehow this engine is just pretty responsive. For 8.3 liters, this is just outrageous. Wow. So guys, that's the Viper SRT-10. If you buy a car like this, you're gonna need some long straight roads to enjoy it, but you're also gonna need to make sure you've got some corners, because it will annihilate them. It is so much fun to chuck into a corner. Thank you guys so much for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Don't forget to respect the drive. bit of oversteer on the entry. Wonderful. Brakes are really something else too. They allow you to go places, to do things with their throttle because you know you're going to be able to bring the car back down. But my goodness, the way this thing performs is just so balanced and delicious.